All right, Jeremy, our cab's here.
It's about time.
Well, you know, we got to get to where we're going. I don't really know what podcast we're gonna steal, but I figured if we head on over to Dave and Buster's for some fun hour. It'll give us the juices. What?
Hey.
Yes.
Sometimes. Hey.
Oh my God!
yeah.
That's Albert.
Albert, hey.
What are you doing? What are you doing driving cabs, Albert?
Well, you know, I kind of missed the old days of what we used to do, and I need money for new gadgets and robots and shit. So I got into driving cab. As a matter of fact, you know, I was heading over to a place right now that's going to be a lot better than Dave and Buster's. But
what is
you guys
it?
want to join me?
Dave and Buster's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I have to see what you're talking about.
All right. Well, you guys still into this stealing podcasts and
Every
shit?
week.
Oh, nice.
You don't
Well, they
listen
should
to our
go listen to
podcast,
it.
Albert? You don't listen to our podcast?
He's driving a cab around all day. You think you can probably
I've been
pop
driving
up?
a cab lately.
Well, don't
yeah,
you have a robot head? Do you don't have a radio built into your cranium?
I do. All right.
I'm just hearing excuses, is all I'm saying.
He listens to Joe.
I'll start listening more.
Okay. Well, where are we going? What's the deal?
Okay. Well, I got a tip on a podcast, and I was heading over there to actually go steal it. If you guys wanted to join.
But wait, you're stealing podcasts?
Well, you know, it's been quite the journey trying to get these podcasts, but I got some. Okay, now do you guys want in or do you not want in?
Yeah,
Let's
of
do
course
it,
I
Albert.
want it. And I'll just say the phone works both ways, so I'm at fault here too.
All right. So I got a contact about the Home Depot on 24th Street.
Oh.
No.
We're gonna head over there now. We're gonna head over there now.
Yeah, sounds great.
Fuck.
What? What's wrong, Jeremy?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
I don't really like him.
Wait, why are you driving a cab when you can just turn into a cab if you want?
Well, I am the cab.
Oh, so this like body that looks kind of like you that's sitting up for. Oh, yeah, it's just like a silicone mold.
It's like that movie, Mike.
Yeah.
With Sylvester Stallone. It's just like Judge Dredd.
Yeah, Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
He's the robo-taxi.
he's a robo-taxi.
That's right. Robo-taxi Albert. All right. So we're coming up on it, guys. Now, my contact, he's a little bit sketchy, so I'm gonna go up and talk to him, let you know what he says.
Okay, all right.
All right.
my God.
Oh, by the way, that's $37.50 for the cab fare.
What?
What?
God damn it,
Can't
Albert.
charge us, Albert.
Jared, you want to just like Venmo me half?
I mean, you did throw his real body into a fence.
No, I didn't. That was a robot. That was a tiny robot. In the
I
Jack
don't remember
in the
it
Jack
anymore.
Billings episode.
Albert's died so many times, I just lose count.
How about this? I'll pay your cab fare if you get this podcast that you're talking about.
All right, I'm heading over there now. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Oh man, this is much easier than having to get in a hot air balloon and fly to fucking Australia.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, Jimmy, with Albert, there's always a price. So
I just didn't think that we could outsource stealing podcasts.
the last time I bought a podcast from Albert, it was $3,000, and then he used it to start making robots.
You have bought podcasts from Albert before.
Yes, I have. I'm now realizing it.
Shame, Michael.
Yeah.
Boys, let's go.
No, shit.
What
All right,
Albert
don't
what is-
look back. Don't look back.
No,
Don't
no,
look
no,
back.
not
I'm looking back.
Jeremy, don't.
I
He
can't
said
stop
not
looking
to.
back.
Oh shit!
Ah!
All right,
What happened?
I think we're clear. Well, he was giving me some of that lip, and I didn't like it, so I smoked him right there. Took his podcast.
You smoked him and took his podcast.
That's right.
Did you kill a
Sometimes
man,
do what you
Albert?
gotta do.
Oh my God.
Did you kill a man for this podcast?
He didn't need it anymore.
Was it his podcast?
I think it's been
What is it?
passed down through several people,
Oh.
but it's still usable.
Okay.
So I think we can get some value out of it.
Oh, what is it?
It's the I Hate This Job podcast.
Okay, all right. So the podcast is called "I Hate This Job."
Yes.
I
yes,
can't.
yes.
I'm pulling it up. It doesn't even play on the internet. Like when I go
Oh.
to Apple Podcasts, it doesn't even play.
Don't you worry about that. It's still usable. Okay.
He killed a man.
You killed him and you stole his podcast so hard that it doesn't even play on the internet anymore?
Yeah, this one's going straight to the dark web, Mike.
Oh my god. No, give it to us, Albert.
Well, do you want it, or
Yeah.
do I need to take it to somebody else?
No, I'll take it. What do you want for it?
All right, well, I'll tell you what. I'm tired of working this cab, Mike.
Okay.
So, I'm willing to let you have the podcast for free.
What? For free?
For free.
Nothing's free, Albert. What's the catch?
Well, you got to, cut me in on some of the adventures, like the good old days. Yeah?
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, it's not very lucrative. I'm not going to be able to pay you any money to do it.
Well, I'll worry about the money.
Oh, okay.
And no more killing, Albert.
Yeah, stop that.
I'll do my best. I'll do my very best. But he's fine. He's fine. He's in a better place now. And we got the podcast. That's all that matters.
Well,
I don't feel right about this.
it's what we have.
Two best friends start talking about whatever they want. They're looking for a soul to steal and treasure to hunt. Michael and Jeremy steal your podcast. Michael and Jeremy steal your podcast. They like to get crazy, talk a lot of trash. Michael and Jeremy steal your podcast.
Welcome to Michael and Jeremy Steal Your Podcasts.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Jeremy.
What's up?
Oh, not much.
How you doing, brother?
I'm still recovering after last week, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been looking at a lot of puppet porn?
Oh, Jeremy. The well is fruitful.
Yeah.
In-
Caught between the clowns and the puppets now?
I've been fucking puppets.
Oh. No, technically you've been fucking a puppet. A silicone puppet for a little while. Shout out. Silicone.
What?
It's a good invention. I don't
Brestiny. So we're stealing a podcast, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
I hate this job.
Stealing
I
podcast?
hate the no.
You're done with it?
No. I love stealing podcasts.
Oh.
I hate this job.
What, editing all the time?
No, I love editing.
Oh, okay.
I do. I have to, otherwise I wouldn't do it. No, but Jeremy, I hate this job.
What, voice acting for Dungeon Studios?
Nope, that's great. That's fucking awesome. Check out Fables from the Forgotten. No, Jeremy, the podcast that we're stealing, the podcast's name is I Hate This Job.
No, that makes a lot more sense.
Yep, and we stole this podcast so hard. And Jeremy, I've had some jobs that I hate. You've had some shitty jobs as well. And our
Sure.
guest here today, which is none other than Josh from Dungeon Studios.
Hey, what's up, dudes?
Hey, Josh, you've also had some shitty jobs, which is why I needed you on this episode today.
Oh, dude, like I told you, I'm your Huckleberry for this one, dude.
Mm-hmm. I know about a couple of them. I can't wait to hear and have our listeners hear about it as well. But jobs, we all need them.
What leads one to hate a job?
Why are these jobs that people hate? Josh?
Definitely the people can make you hate a job, you know.
That's huge.
Sometimes if the people that you're working around just flat out suck, then, that could lead you to hate your job.
I agree. People that you work with. I've worked with some wacky, wild people, and it didn't affect my job. I just hated that person at my job. So it didn't give me that kind of I hate going to work because I got to deal with schmibbity schmo,
Sometimes it's kind of cool, though, when a shitty worker shows up. Mm-hmm. I worked for a... let's call it like a home department store.
Uh-huh. A depot of sorts.
Let's call it it's a place where you can go find all the tools you need for a project, right?
Uh-huh.
And we hired this young woman who was just day one grinding her body on male employees.
No.
Just like showing her how to use. So one guy got fired. Her first day, another guy got fired because he was trying to show her how to clock in. And he was like behind her, showing her how to, and then she just backed up and rested her butt on him. It was all flirting. And then a customer saw it and and they looked at the camera and they're like, "You were shoving your junk on that lady." And then she tried giving me a blowjob in a shed in the garden.
Oh.
Yep.
Did you get it?
Dude.
No. I would never do something like that.
You said tried.
That was ridiculous. She definitely attempted to do it.
She attempted.
Didn't happen.
No, it didn't.
Nope.
You look like you're saying yes with
I
your
would
eyes.
never do something like that. That's in public.
Well, you've done it several times. You've said many stories about it.
Shed blowjobs many times?
I have shed during a blowjob, yes.
Is that what they call it now?
I don't know. Oh, dude, I shedded such a big load. Yeah, that poor guy got fired for her being a slut.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have went into a shed to do it.
Did you hate that job?
Yeah, that job sucked.
I see what you did there, you dirty boy.
No, any job with a fucking where you have to clock in blows, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Josh, what are your thoughts?
Man, I've had several shitty jobs. Let's see. Do you want to go back to like the first like shitty job? Like,
Yeah, let's start at the beginning.
okay. All right. So the first shitty job-
1971.
Me and my
Let me
friends
take
got
you
together.
back.
We heard there was a dead body in the woods. Our job was to go find it before the older kids.
This lady was like, "I'm starting a puppet enterprise."
No. So first shitty job, it was for the governor's mansion for California governor.
The
I
governor's
forget
mansion.
who the damn governor was at the time, but
You
but
were the
yeah, so
shoe
there was
boy.
no, I was 16, and let's see, this company, it was like a landscaping company, but they also did like construction and shit too. So I'm 16, and I'm looking for like my first taste of jobhood, you know what I mean? And I did work at a Jack in the Box for a short time, which was hella cool. I was getting all kinds of free food and shit, and that's probably why they
Blowjobs.
fired me.
Getting sucked off in the freezer.
Did you get any shed jobs?
No shed jobs, man, but it was free food galore.
Nice.
Those little $1 tacos.
Hell yeah, man! I was making the shit out of those things. I'd stuff them with like extra cheese and
Oh,
shit.
double stuff, dude.
Yeah, they were bomb. This next job was with the governor's mansion, and they had me out there, when I first started, like watering the lawn and shit, and trimming
Signing
roses
bills
and
into
shit.
law.
And it's it's a big property. It's probably about 5 or 6 acres, and it's
Ooh.
got like this huge garden in front of the driveway and shit. And anyway, so they started me out doing that, and then they had like a remodeling project going on, so they moved me over there, and I started. I don't know if you have done construction. I feel like Jeremy probably has. Mike, have you?
No.
Okay. Construction beats your ass, dude. Like, it's early mornings, and you're working all day in the sun and shit. Jeremy, you work construction. You did roofing, right? You do roofing.
Yep, 14 years roofing.
Yeah, so it's probably pretty similar to that, except you guys are probably a little bit more exposed to the sun. But does that job beat your ass?
Yes, it does. That's why there's only junkies, felons, and tradesmen that do it.
Well, this job beat my ass, and I was like 16. I just hated it because, it was just like my first taste of early mornings and shit, and just working conditions suck.
God, it's the worst. Every morning, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I got to get the tools ready. Got to get everything. You're already lifting heavy shit. 4
Heavy
o'clock
shit.
in the morning.
Yep. From
Gross.
the moment you get up until you go home.
Yep.
Then we started taking on projects where we would lift up these old buildings and
Sweep under them.
put them on.
Six dudes holding it up. Hurry up.
Yeah, no, we'd put them on house jacks, and then we would put it on a trailer essentially, and we would relocate the buildings because they were like old, like 1800s buildings or whatever.
Holy shit!
And since I was the little guy, they always sent me down there, man, to set the jacks and shit. So like I'm like under the house setting up the jacks to lift this house up. That was
just under there. Just picture that. This is how I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be the wicked witch of the east. Should be my fucking shoe sitting out.
You hear all these creaks and wood snapping and popping and shit falling down, you know, and it was not ideal for a 16-year-old to be down there doing that shit.
Did you ever relocate a haunted house from the 1800s?
And the ghost was just like, stop, no, put my house back.
The ghosts stay in the same spot.
Right, they never leave. Now it's cold.
Now we have to haunt this Arby's.
But I tell you what, we would find a lot of old shit underneath the houses when we would lift them up.
What, like animal shit?
Yeah.
No, like fucking stuff from back in the 1800s.
Oh.
And the foreman guy, he was real adamant about anything that got found and got brought to him, you know.
Oh, sure.
And he just like scalp all the cool shit, you know.
If it has a swastika on it, I want it brought to my desk.
But yeah, that was my my first taste of jobs that sucked.
Is that what got you into coin collecting? Did you find some coins and you were like, that's pretty cool?
No, actually it was a family member got me into collecting coins and shit.
Oh.
Did you ever find anything that you didn't bring to your boss? And you were like, fuck you, this is cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
Hell
like
yeah.
coins and shit. Yeah. I'll just take that nickel and throw that in the pocket.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at this painting of this pudgy lady with a bush. I'm gonna take
some old 1800s porn. She's
that,
showing her ankles.
What's the thing called that you would look into and slide the picture in?
Oh God,
Let's see it
something
3D.
scope.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They had dirty images.
Oh, I bet.
Those were like little smut machines, man.
Looks like the
It has-
nipples are pointing right at you.
Remember Inga Bubba had one? It was
Yeah.
like on a stand.
Yeah.
So you could like stand up and look through it.
Yeah.
You just jack it off with your face in this wooden thing. Like, oh, yes.
If I move side to side, she moves side to side.
Oh, yes. Get it, Dionysus. Yes. Have sex with all of those maidens. Jacking off the classical artwork.
And what's it's I guess it's my turn then, right?
Yeah, what do you got, Mike?
Well, one of the jobs that I hated more than anything was my very first job. I've brought it up on
Working
the
at the
podcast.
candy
The
shop.
candy store, the candy shop. Let me lick that lollipop.
He did. He did
I
lick
was
that
I was
lollipop.
I was a 15-year-old boy, and this couple, this older Indian couple who owned the store and was running it, was trying to find people to run the shop for them.
No, and
they hired me.
This is a shop in the mall
Yeah.
with no security. It's a
Nope.
place that everyone went to steal candy because it was just
Okay.
big open.
Because I would let them.
It was just big open barrels and things of candy, and
Yeah.
you filled up a bag.
You filled up a bag, and you're supposed to bring it up for me to weigh.
15-year-old kids are working at this store. You just walked in, grabbed a handful of candy, and walked off.
So I'm trying my best as a young child to understand their color coding system, because they have a color coding system. They have certain candies that are coded a different color, and then that color, when you weigh it, you associate that color with a different price against the weight. And for me, I was just like, how do I know what color it is? Because like all the colors are on the bins, and I'm behind the counter, and I don't remember what the fucking color is. Everything was green. Everything was green. I sold all the candy for green
cheapest.
prices. Yes, so everyone gets their candy super cheap, and dude, it was not a busy. Ever. It was not a busy
because people
store.
walked through it to steal a handful of candy.
No, they had to come in. There wasn't like it was on the corner, but it only
Yes.
had one entrance, one exit.
Right, you'd walk in and go to the right, and walk around the store to the left, and then you'd leave.
And Jeremy, I believe that the worst thief in that building was me.
Right.
As a 15-year-old child, and they had me run it. That's the thing. It wasn't like me and the guy or me and then somebody else. They would have put 15-year-old me open up the store, work there, close the store, and I'm just there for 8 hours as a child, selling candy.
You're a child who's not supposed to be eating sugar.
It's like
in a candy shop.
And I just in my brain I'm like thinking about these people that hired me. It's like there's a reason that there's a idiom, a kid in a candy store, right? And I was that kid. I was Willy Wonka, Jeremy.
Right.
I was Willy Wonka to the world.
I remember showing up while you were working. And
Jeremy, I was 15 and I was
candy.
shoving my face full of rum cordials. And I was like, this makes my mouth tingle. Yeah. And so much candy. I must have lost.
So far, that's not sounding too bad, Mike. That sounds
Well,
really
I hated
good.
it, though, because it was okay.
It does sound pretty great.
Shit. I don't.
There's no oversight. No one's there.
Yeah.
It's just you
right. Just
every
run
day.
the store,
Right.
dude.
Well, okay. So let's go to my next job.
All your customers love you because you're giving them basically free candy.
Did you get any candy shop BJ's?
No candy. I was a child.
But he was licking the lollipop.
They sold candy cigarettes.
I remember that.
Yeah. And then I got a job at the movie theater across the way in the mall, and that's where I worked there. I got fired from that job. And then the next Longhorn, I worked there. That's where I had my first beer. That was pretty cool.
You were front of the house.
I was a hostess.
Yeah.
Because
Josh, if you need to know a difference between me and Mike, right? We both did work in the restaurant industry. I was back of house. He was front of house. There's two different people.
Yeah.
Were you at the same time? You guys working in the same place?
No. Separate places, separate times.
Oh, okay.
But they had one schedule, and when I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm technically supposed to be classified. Not technically, I was supposed to be called a host. But when you go check your schedule, it has the chef, the cook schedule, the waiting staff schedule, and then the hostess schedule. And my name was there, and I was like, I'm on the hostess schedule.
You're the host,
right?
Welcome to Longhorn.
Welcome to Longhorn Steakhouse.
How big is your party?
And I hated that job mostly because I couldn't do it. Like my ADHD brain looking at the seating chart of the restaurant and versus the number of people that are coming in and what waiters have already been sat so I don't double seat them. I'm just like, that table's open. Go to that table.
Green.
Green. Everyone's green. So I would quadruple seat servers.
So the waiters hated you.
I was adorable, so they still liked me, and they yelled at me once. I eventually, they just didn't let me do it anymore. Is pretty much how that got fixed.
All right, so now what you do is you give the crayons and the to the kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeremy.
No, is that what happened?
Yes.
No.
Yep.
I made that up.
I was the one who takes the crayons and the silverware, and I take them to the correct table.
You just start giving everyone crayons. I don't know. I can't read this thing.
Yeah, so the complexity of hostessing is beyond me, and I was incapable of doing it.
You know who the real heroes are? Hostesses.
Hostesses. They're doing the Lord's work.
I actually have some food industry experience too.
Oh yeah,
actually.
Doing what?
So I was a sous chef at the convention center in Sacramento, California.
Ooh.
There was probably about 6 other sous chefs that worked under 3 head chefs. But yeah, we would cater all kinds of huge events and stuff. And pretty much everything that we made in gigantic batches. So like picture a batch of ranch dressing.
Inside of the shed at a Home Depot?
Yeah, enough ranch dressing to fill that shed for sure.
I'd imagine it would be a pretty big batch.
Yeah, and so that one was actually pretty cool. However, I do have some other experience where I was living up in a little high mountain town up in Northern California, and there was this little hole in the wall roadhouse place, and I was sitting there drinking one night, and the owner of the building was like, "Yeah, we're really looking for a breakfast chef." And she was telling this to the bartender, and I'm half drunk listening in on this, and I was like, I cook some breakfast.
I love breakfast.
Yeah, I like breakfast.
So she's all, oh, yeah. She's all, well, go back there and cook me up something. And I was like, all right. So I go back there and she just gave me full reign of the fucking kitchen.
That's
And
the best.
I'm just like digging through shit and finding out what she has and what she doesn't have.
12 gallons of
And
ranch.
then 30 minutes later,
I call this sloppy eggs.
no, I was drunk. I didn't even make her breakfast. I was hungry myself.
The hot dogs.
So
It's like I was cheeseburgers.
I made her and myself a tuna melt sandwich.
Fantastic.
But it's a breakfast tuna melt, though. It's a breakfast tuna
There's
melt
eggs in
sandwich.
it. I put eggs in it.
Breakfast tuna.
It's a breakfast tuna.
And
It's got bacon on it.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's breakfast tuna.
she said it was the best breakfast tuna sandwich that she had.
Oh, nice.
And she hired me, man. And I was their breakfast chef for a couple years, probably.
Man, how cool is it when you're working in the kitchen? You have full reign to all the ingredients. So you can make anything back there. Almost anything.
Yes.
Yeah, steaks.
Well, they didn't really like us when we cooked up their steaks for free, but but yeah, you can make any type of sauce you want. Like I was in we were an American grill, bar and grill,
Yeah.
and I'm back there making like fettuccine Alfredo
Oh, when you worked
Or
at
like-
Chunky's.
at grills on the Cape Canaveral.
Same thing.
Sure,
Grills is a classy place.
it is a classy place. Yep, I'd be back there making barbecue chicken and stuff that's not on the menu, just serving it to everybody.
Nice.
It was the best. Josh,
Yeah, dude. I love doing that. Just having free roam of it, dude. Like I worked at Taco Bell too.
Sounds like a job
And,
you love, not hate.
We're
not doing great.
Of it. There's parts of it. You know what I mean? So like working at Taco Bell, it sucked because it was the graveyard shift. You know what I mean? But parts of that were cool. So we would take all the ingredients that we had to make tacos and shit. And we would take like the chalupa shells and we would dice them up, right? And then we would put the dust from the churros, or not the churros, but the cinnamon twist things that they make,
Yeah.
and we'd put that on the deep fried chalupa bread.
Oh,
And dude, they were so
you
damn
hated
good.
that.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah, absolutely.
disgusting pile of yeah.
We would put the maintenance cones out in the drive-through, and we'd bring in like a TV and like a PlayStation, and we'd just be playing games in like the lobby, inviting our friends over, dude, and we'd have girls in there hanging out and hitting the bong.
Baja
Dude, it was
Blast for everybody.
awesome. Yep. We would just serving them up drinks and making them food and shit. Yeah.
Who
Yep.
do we got to write to get just regular gorditas back? They got the stupid crunch one, but just a regular beef gordita.
I don't think you write anybody. I think they have a plan. Pretty sure all these places have a plan. They're like, get rid of that. We'll bring it back in 6 years.
No, Jeremy, it's been longer than that. Well, it's been pretty long since get a goddamn regular gordita.
Yeah, for the gordita. Yeah.
That was my favorite.
I had a terrible job. I worked at a grocery store. A pretty famous one.
Yeah, the one that most of our family works at.
That place, yeah.
Yeah, it blew.
Uh-huh. When something goes from mom and pop to corporate,
Yeah.
I've always had a problem in that environment. It's very political.
Oh yeah.
People trying to stab each other in the back to be an assistant manager of fucking
Deli.
what?
Of chicken tenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stock the macaroni and cheese in the deli. That's just the and then the clocking in and clocking out that I mentioned before.
Yeah.
If you clock in too early, you're in trouble. You clock out
Yeah.
too late, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
I got I got pulled into an office by a manager who wanted to be a store manager. So she was like a manager of the front office, and she had aspirations.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Asperger's.
Probably.
She had Asperger's.
Spina bifida. But, she did not like me and my happy demeanor, and I was just like everybody's friend. I helped in every
You're
department.
Jeremy.
I just like when I worked at that home improvement place, I wanted to help you with everything. Yes, I work in this department, but hey, you need this from electrical, come with me. You know,
Come with me.
Yeah, I'll
I'll
help you.
shuffle you away.
Your whole project, I'll help you with your whole list of shit.
Jeremy's like, I could show you this aisle.
I helped a guy build a gate.
But no, you didn't.
No, in the store. He didn't know
In the
how to
store.
build it. He just wanted a gate. And then I went over his idea that he wanted, and I got him all the stuff he needed.
Oh, well, there you go.
That stuff, full service, right?
Yeah.
And so one day, when she was the only manager there, she called me in with it was her and an assistant meat manager, a guy I've never really met before, and she gave me a piece of paper.
The assistant meat manager.
He's the assistant shed job manager,
Right.
And she gave me
Manage
a
my
piece of
meat.
paper and told me that they were letting people go, that it was either I get fired or I could resign. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I just had a baby. Like, what are you talking about? And I worked 2 jobs. I worked at the restaurant too.
Yeah.
And she just wanted to fucking get rid of me. And she gave me this piece of paper and she's like, it looks better on you for, you know, this record? They told us when we were kids there was a record
Yeah.
that people would be able to go look at our record.
Yeah.
And she's like, it would look better on you for future employment if you resign.
Right. If you resign and then and if you don't, you'll get fired. But then, Jeremy, you'll have to voluntarily tell people you got fired on future resumes.
Right. Right. And but I didn't understand this. I was definitely being strong-armed in the moment, which I reflected on later. I was like, wait a minute, I just got fucked over.
Yeah.
She didn't want me. She wanted to fire me, but in order to do it, she needed backup that wasn't there. So she really wanted
Another
me to
Jewish guy.
Yeah, right. Get all the Jews from that particular famous grocery store in the area. And yeah, so I signed the papers, and it was also so I couldn't claim unemployment.
Would you say your pubes got licked?
They did. They did lick my pubes.
Uh-huh.
Or I licked theirs. I probably licked hers gross ass pubes, probably, in this situation.
Oh no.
God, what a cunt. She had a little black book that she carried around with her. And she wrote down anything anyone did in any department.
Oh, wow.
Just that corporate environment
what a cunt.
is a bad job.
Yeah.
That's a job worth hating. Like, I wish I could go into a store and everyone was happy,
Oh, sure.
but they can't be.
No.
It's impossible to be happy in that environment. Like, oh yeah, sorry, I clocked out 15 minutes late. I was helping this person find cheese.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, this is one of your strikes. After this many strikes, we have to do this meeting and
The
sign this
shareholders
paper.
are going to hear about this.
Well, it's more of like, policy says, but there's
the
no
policy
taking value
bullshit.
in, like, if you overachieve at your job, you make more money, Mike, right? If you overachieve
Well,
at your
a
job.
lot of people argue that a lot of companies, especially in these corporate environments where they'll go in for their employee review and they'll say, well, you exceeded expectations, which is what our expectation was of you. So there is really no raise. And so therefore you are adequate. Right.
I meant more of when you get more work, because you find work, right?
Yeah.
That's what you do. You find work.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you can sell somebody, the more you make.
Yeah.
The more you achieve.
Yeah.
It's the same with my job.
Yeah.
And it's always been with construction. The better you do in that particular field, you get rewarded. Like, you're the top guy now.
Yeah.
Those corporate structures are like, here's your 35-cent raise as per the employee handbook.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no recognition of that you're doing better than the people around you.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just their friends get the promotions because they rather,
Yeah.
like, oh, I want Tiffany to be a manager. You hired Tiffany last month. I've been here for 3 years. I'm your top guy. Like,
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah. It's all fucking part of the game. Hey everybody, Future Michael here. Just want to tell you about our band of the week, which we'll play at the end of the episode, is Sweetgum. One word, Sweetgum. With their song, The Bar. Great stuff, guys. Really enjoy it. You all will hear it later, I guess. And we're brought to you by Dungeon Studios, makers of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons modules, as well as various other content, which you can find if you go to their YouTube page, Dungeon Studios on YouTube. You can see the nerd news, the game, and Fables from the Forgotten, an audio drama podcast, which I helped to make, so you can check it out. What else? How are you? How have you been? Doing okay? Times are weird out there. Okay. I love you. For my job, for my current job, I work for the same company, right? But I've done many different jobs in this company. They all are very, very different. Some of them are physically taxing, and some of them are mentally taxing, and some of them are just so easy that even a child could do it. And it's surprising because the easiest job
It is a child. You open up the door to their office, and it's just a child banging on a laptop. You know he makes $160,000.
They say I'm not allowed to go in the shed. But no, surprisingly, the easiest job is the one that you make the most money at, which sucks.
Sure.
Yeah. So I would say out of all the jobs that I did, the one that I hated the most was the physical labor one. Because with absolutely no knowledge of the industry coming in, and I had just had a kid, and I had to leave another job, which after we go back around, I'll tell you all about the storage unit place. That was I got an entry level job. It was all physical labor. So basically, the harder that you push your body, that's how means the more money that you make. And which definitely took a fucking toll on my elbow. So now I got to get it fucking injected. My elbow exploded again, like the last couple weeks.
His elbow, for those you're just listening, it's shaped like a dog's leg.
Yeah,
It's backwards.
yeah. Thanks to squishing the handle of a backpack down 75,000 times a day for 3 years. So that sucks, and I hated it. And I hated it going to work. I hated working in the heat. I hated putting my body through everything I did. But I made money and I supported my family while I was doing it. But it definitely sucked. And also, it's not one of those jobs you don't clock in. So there is no clock in, clock out. It's however many houses you do will dictate how much you get paid. So it really decentivizes taking breaks, taking care of yourself, resting. Taking time to water, get water, all that stuff.
That's awesome.
It sucked.
I love it. It's the best.
Jeremy likes
The
it.
freedom is amazing. I go, you know what? I'll just finish all this shit and go get food later. I don't need a lunch break. Fuck that.
It worked sometimes, but then when you were like relying on it at that point, like in order to make enough money, you just had to eliminate breaks altogether in order to make enough money to live. That sucked. That sucked a lot.
Eat a sandwich while you're spraying chemicals.
Yeah. And Josh, there's definitely a job that I want to hear. I want to hear about the crab job.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So there's a couple of dirty jobs that, were up there. So there's the crabbing, and then there's also oyster farming.
Gross.
Personally, I hated oyster farming more, but I'll give you the crab story if you want it.
Well, if you hated the oyster one, let's go start with that one. You have more disdain for it.
Yes.
That's what
yes.
Oyster farming is what I call your current dating.
That's what I called what I did when I was in that shed.
You're just out there oyster farming until you get crabs.
Just shucking oysters. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So oyster farming. All right. So I was living up in the Oregon coast. There was only a few jobs in that region because it was a little town that was like right on the coast, and it was either seafood industry shit or logging shit, which I did it all while I was up there. So, the first one I did was the crabbing. That was cool. It had its perks and its grossness and downside to it too. But then I got into oyster farming. Now, oyster farming is different because your schedule goes by the tide of the ocean.
As Mother Nature intended.
Oysters grow in clusters on like these sandbanks in like the bay or the harbor. So basically what you do is you get up usually very early. And I don't know if you know anything about Oregon, but it rains like 80% of the year.
Oh, yeah.
They actually have a saying up there where Oregonians don't suntan, they rust. But it rains all the damn time.
Oregonians.
And so odds are, Oregonians, right? Usually you're getting up at about 2, maybe 3 in the morning, and you get in a little skiff, and you tow this big barge out into the bay, and you wait for the tide to go out, which will bottom out the barge and bottom out the little skiff on the sand. And then you put on like a mud suit, and you grab like a little aluminum sled, and you jump out of the boat. Now, the moment when you jump out of the boat, you're instantly like waist deep in the sludge of the bottom of the bay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say attacked by oysters.
Yeah. Oh, then they started biting me. Jerry,
and then you take
throw
your
me the
sled.
spear gun.
You had to fight through the
They're
throngs.
all over me.
There are these, we called them sandworms, that will bite the shit out of you, and they're like roaming around all through that shit. But anyway, so you take your little sled and you go out to where they call them oyster beds. And oyster beds, they look like, rocks that are out there, but it's literally just clusters of oysters in these, what look like big boulder formations.
Disgusting.
And so you trudge through the mud, in the rain, right? And you get to the oyster, and then you got to break the oyster cluster into a manageable size. So you have like this little hand pickaxe thing, and you pickaxe at it until it breaks into a chunk, and you put the chunk on your aluminum sled, and you do that until you fill your sled up.
It sounds awful.
And then you take
It does.
It's so bad, it's so awful. And then you take your wooden sled and you trudge it back to that barge that you towed out there, right? And then you take the clusters off of your sled and you put them on the barge, and you rinse and repeat until the barge is full.
Was it
Right.
bobbit worms?
That could be it.
Bobbit worms are the ones that they got these long skinny bodies in the sand, and then they pop up and strike things.
That might be it.
Or I think is this a saltwater
They
body?
bite you?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's saltwater. Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, bobbit worms, Jeremy. They're horrifying to watch. Look, hey everybody, look at bobbit worms on the internet. They're horrifying.
Mike, do me a favor. Type in bobbit
Nude, bobbit
bobbit
worms,
worm
nude.
Yeah, so you fill this barge up with all these clusters of oysters, and then once the barge is full, you sit there and you wait, because you got to wait for the damn tide to come back in, and so you can boat away. Let the tide come back in, and then you take the barge back to the plant, and then when you get to the plant, you had to bring this conveyor belt system out to the barge, unload all of the clusters onto the conveyor belt, which conveys them into the factory. And then once you got inside, or once you got the barge empty, you'd go inside the factory, and then you get these little handheld jackhammers, and you'd break up all of the oyster clusters into single oysters. And then we would put those in those classic oyster bags, tie them up and put them on pallets. Some of the pallets would be shipped to places to be delivered as fresh seafood. And then we also had a kitchen on site where we would put some of those in there, and we would prepare them in certain ways.
Tell me of the ways.
Well, you can
I mean,
salt
they would.
oysters. You can put mustard on the oysters. You can
They
fry
cook them
oysters.
in all different ways. I tell you what, though, I was the only white guy on that whole site, I think. Well, besides the ladies in the kitchen, they were like old white ladies. But everybody else was Mexican, and
you didn't like
it was
that.
always. Well, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I think it was them, because I didn't understand the shit that they said, and they trained me that way, right? Like the whole time I was learning how to do this shit, I'm trying to decipher what the fuck this guy's saying to me, to learn how to do this shit.
the guy's like, I was telling him that like we catch shrimp, but he kept going for the
Beating
oysters.
these oysters up.
He just kept fucking going for the oysters. I don't know why, but you know what? At this point, let's just fucking switch over to oysters. He's doing a good job.
I don't know. They kept calling me Maricone. I don't know.
But yeah, I couldn't understand them. They couldn't understand me, so that was kind of awkward.
Well, you were
The
taking
hours sucked. This shit sucked.
you were taking a hardworking Mexican's job, dude.
You're right.
It's fucked up.
I was getting the full experience, man. Hey, I was getting paid $10 an hour to do that shit.
Oh fuck. Well, back in
$10 an hour.
1965, I mean that's pretty good.
No, that was probably about 2008, 2009.
Right in the bubble that people say.
That's historic bubble.
The bubble. 2008.
Did it burst or was it formed? Did the bubble explode?
It popped?
It popped.
It popped.
I think the bubble popped.
The bubble did pop.
Obama's bubble pop.
The Obama bubble pop.
Obama bubble pop. That's a shitty job too.
That is a shitty job.
Fuck that.
Yeah, that one's pretty brutal.
You probably don't eat oysters anymore, huh? You're like, fuck that. I'm done.
I fucking love them. I fucking love them.
Do you think about those guys when you eat oysters?
I do. I do.
The poor fucker who had to go out there with a pickaxe.
Yep, I think that, man, they're out there doing that shit right now.
So I get the thing that stuck with me from work the last 14 years of roofing is I can't go anywhere without staring at roofs.
Oh yeah.
Like
You're judging everybody's roofs as you go along.
It's more of like identifying them from the sky when I'm landing places and I look out the window. I'm like, TPO built up, Butler.
That's a rooftop 5,000.
Be like, and then I stay in a hotel and I open the window and I can see the roof of part of the hotel. I'm like, the surface counter flashings, damage, the fucking, like, I just can't look outside without looking at a roof.
It's gotten to the point now, if I go somewhere, I'll send you pictures of roofs. I did that in Georgia.
Yeah, that's exactly
Jeremy,
what I
look
want.
at this roof.
Hey, Jeremy, is this a good
When
roof?
you check out of your hotel, do you like leave them like an estimate?
No, I've thought about telling them about it, but they don't fucking care. They only care when they go to sell their hotel.
Yeah.
Then they hire us, and then we look at it, give them an assessment, and then the person who wants to buy it hires us, and we go out and look at it and give them their ammo. So we give everyone ammo.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Do you give them different numbers?
It depends. It depends on what they're looking for. You know, if the proper manager's like, tell me what I need to make it not leak for the sale. And I go, okay, this is what you got to do. And then the buyer wants to know how long it's going to last and what the shape of it is. And so I tell them, well,
Oh, it died 3 years ago,
yeah,
actually.
this thing's limping. You can keep patching it if you want, but it's all going to fall apart.
Yeah.
You know, so the numbers can vary, I guess.
Yeah.
But I try to do it unbiased. I don't favor any side. I didn't even know that was part of my job until I was in the middle of it.
Really?
They were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, the competitor hired us." Like, "Oh,
We do that?
it's a pretty smart business strategy."
I think, yeah, the last job that I can really talk about would be the storage job. I know we're probably low on time, but it was the store. I
You
ran
loved that job.
It was good.
You kept stealing all those poor people's stuff who couldn't pay their things.
Oh, I definitely stole some stuff from storage units. No, Jeremy.
Do you raid the units?
Actually, one time there's this one time. So moving companies, right? When they have all the people's stuff in like a moving van, and say that person doesn't pay them something that they need to pay in order for them to drop the stuff off,
Yes.
the moving company will then put that person's stuff into a storage unit and just leave it, so that way they can still use the truck to move people's stuff. And then when that person pays, then they can either go pick up the stuff and move it, or just say, your stuff is at the storage unit. Here's the key. Here's the password. You can just move your own shit out. So this poor couple couldn't afford to pay the moving company, but they found out that their stuff was here at the storage unit. And I was like, listen, write me a check, even though you know it's not going to clear. Write me a check. I will post it as paid, which will then give you access to the storage unit. Move your shit out, all of it tonight. And then when the check bounces, there's nothing we can do. You're going to owe, and then the company is going to owe money for the unit not being paid, but you'll get your stuff. And so I kind of felt really good about it. And then I realized, like, the next day after they had done it all, and I was like, how would I even know that was their stuff? They might have just taken these people's stuff. I don't know. I thought I was doing a good thing.
You aided and abetted crime.
I may have.
You're an accomplice.
It's possible. But that job did suck because I got bored all the time.
Did you see a lot of crushed people?
I got bored all the time. I did help a raid, though. I walked by a unit and I was like, this unit smells awfully like marijuana.
God damn it, Mike. You snitched on those people?
I did.
Why?
Because I was bored.
It's not any of your business.
I was bored. I wanted to see all the cops and the dogs and everything show up and see what's going on. I needed action, Jeremy. I was bored as fuck.
and that's why I couldn't buy weed.
You ratted out some people for their weed?
Oh,
Fuck.
He had like 15 grand in cash that got taken away.
That's
he had
insane,
He had a
Mike.
garbage bag full of weed in there.
Can't believe you snitched on that poor guy.
Oh, yeah. I felt great about it.
You didn't do anything.
I felt great.
You did bad things.
No, it was a lot of action that day.
It's just weed.
I said, I'm a hero.
He
He could be selling to children.
I walked by a unit. I heard a bunch of little girls crying. That's one story, right? This guy's got a little grow operation trying to take care of his family.
Sick kush.
Yeah. Oh man, this
So you
unit
went
smells
home and
great.
smoked a doobie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went home and lit a joint and patted yourself on the back.
I was like, wow,
That
I'm a
poor
hero.
son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was really hard to find weed after that, but
Well, Josh, we've already asked you our show question. So we're not going to ask you again.
who did you pick last time?
Yeah, who did you pick for the show question?
What was the show question?
The Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone. We've asked you that question before, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Arnold for me.
Yeah, that's right. So we don't need to ask you. How about you call Michelle?
Okay.
How about you call Michelle? We get her on
Who's
briefly.
Michelle?
That's his wife.
Oh, well, that's biased. You
Is
don't
it?
think that's biased?
I don't know.
Ah.
That puppet lady gave us 1 Arnold and 2 Stallones.
Well, she gave us Stallone, and her puppets argued about the rest.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? How about this? We make it interesting. I'll tell you what I think she's gonna say,
Uh-huh.
right? And then we'll find out what she actually says.
What do you
Let's do
think
it.
she's going to say?
I think she's gonna say Stallone.
Oh, you going to take the risk, Jeremy?
I'm taking the risk, dude. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
All right. Let me see if I can get her. Okay, hold on.
He comes back.
Hello. It's me, Michelle. It's his eye.
Don't forget to tell her that she's on the podcast.
Hey, babe, can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you're on the show with
Sort
me
of.
and Michael and Jeremy, and we got a question for you. See if you can answer it for us real quick. All right, Mike, you want to see if she can hear you?
Smush the phones together.
Smush.
Mushing them together. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Michelle, who's better for your own reasons, Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone?
Mr. Stallone.
Oh, Jeremy he was right.
Ask you. And I did what I had to do to win.
Oh,
and somebody wouldn't let
nice.
us win.
Well, thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Dang.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right.
You've done great things here today. I'm Jeremy from Michael and Jeremy Senior Podcast, by the way.
All right, well, good stuff. Jeremy, damn,
did it.
it's been Stallone heavy.
I got 2 today.
Yeah. Well, not
All right,
today. The last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just counting the puppet stuff in my head.
Yeah.
All right, I was right. I know my wife.
You do know your wife,
know
sir.
her.
And she has good taste. Does she watch this Stallone Family show? She probably watches that.
She has seen it. I don't know if she's like an avid watcher of it, but I've
Nerd.
seen her.
She watches it. She's like, man, he's such a good dad.
Well, we've been Michael and Jeremy Steal
Have you
Your
seen Schwarzenegger's
Podcast.
Kids?
I've not.
His biological, like the one from his marriage is
No.
like this schlubby dude.
Schlubby
and then
dude?
The one he had with the maid
It's like,
looks like him, but
Yeah.
Mexican.
yeah.
He's just like buff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you can contact us. Believe it or not, you can tell us your secrets and dreams. You can email us.
We'll air them.
Yep, we will. At UHJYEAH at majizzypod.com or call our phone number 903-287-0660. Leave a voicemail, shoot us a text. Hell, we're on Discord. I don't know how to share that with you, but it's Majizzypod on Discord.
Fascinating.
I'm there right now.
Josh is here.
Everybody, join the Discord.
Jeremy's never been there.
Nope.
And support the show. Go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/MajizzyPod. Michael and Jeremy Steal Your Podcast Supreme, which is our secondary channel on Spotify, has you can gain access to all of our Patreon episodes there. So it's all in one spot. We're on YouTube. Give us 5 stars. If you've enjoyed our show, which I'm surely you have, shoot us that 5 stars. It helps us. It makes Jeremy and I happy to look at. That's pretty much it.
It's very uplifting.
Yeah.
You got a Supreme channel on Spotify?
Yeah, Michael and Jeremy Steal Your Podcast Supreme. It's a secondary channel.
Nice. Do we have that for Fables?
No. Fables from the Forgotten. Do you want to plug Fables, Josh?
Watch Fables from the Forgotten. Michael, he does a lot of cool stuff with the sound in those episodes, and he also plays some voices. So check it out.
Oh yeah, Fables from the Forgotten. Spotify, YouTube. Check it out. Support me. Jeremy's just here.
Next week you can catch me in Houston.
Oh,
I'll be out there.
no,
What are you doing in Houston?
I was bopping around.
You're not going to be in Houston. When this airs, it's not going to be.
I'll probably still be in Houston.
It's probably still be there.
Yeah. I might be there. If
You know
not,
what?
I'll be in Central Florida.
Everybody keep your eyes open for a wild Jeremy. He may appear in a city
Yep.
near you.
Oh, man. Yeah. Post some sighting pictures of him.
If you catch me in the streets, take a picture. We'll send you a sticker.
I gave Jeremy stickers to give to people while he's out on his trips, and he's just left them in the studio like a ne'er-do-well.
Mm-hmm. to hand out.
Do you
to
still
people.
got a treasure out in the jungle, dude?
Yeah, we still got a treasure out there. No one's found it.
I'm about to dig it up myself.
Jeremy's getting close.
Yeah.
Jeremy wants to make a mold of Blackbeard's dildo, which is in this hidden treasher.
And then
He's after that dildo.
And then
Yeah.
we sell it as artwork on our website.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
about
right.
another job, man. Yeah, that's a fluffer on a gay porn site. No,
That job really blew.
Well, I don't
that
know.
one really blew.
Probably came with a lot of perks and Vicodin and cocaine.
Well, shit. Is there anything else? Jeremy wants us someone to animate our intros, any parts of our episodes. Jeremy wants to see some animations. So if you or somebody that you know likes to do cartoons, we
don't know what we
are
look
great
like.
fodder.
They don't know what we look like.
You support our Patreon, we'll get cameras.
Makes sense.
There's stages, I guess. Number 1 is see what we look like. Number 2 is make cartoons. You know what? Make cartoons based on what we sound like. We're enigmas. We're amorphous. But I think that's it.
All right.
All right, Jeremy, I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
Josh, I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
Peace.
Say bye, Josh.
Oh,
Bye, Josh.
Later.
Bye.
I know it all's too faithful for me. Walking around like 3 blind mice. The night sky's too grateful for me. You could say thanks just once, not twice. Looking seedy in a beanie on a back porch. Always waving at the cars driving by. I started reading by believing and believing by. All the cool folks just changed my mind. Speak of the devil, we could love with the bar. It's not in the cars, it's star signs. As luck would have it, we're between a red beast and a deep blue sea, boy. I got a feeling in my bones, got a feeling in my toes, we could make do. Take the best of both worlds if I could, but I can't, so. A wise man once lent me a love song. A rich man once lent me dead. Fool's gold once strung me along. And cigarettes just catch my breath. Not a one for adolescent abandon. Not a one for falling in line. Not a one for those arms you're wrapped in. Not a one for wrapping you in mine. Speak of the devil, we could love with the bar. It's not in the cards, it's star signs. As luck would have it, we're between a red beast and a deep blue sea, boy. I got a feeling in my bones, got a feeling in my toes, we could make
a good episode talking about jobs and shitty. I hate the jobs. You know, I hate this job.
There's a lot of jobs, Mike, out there. And if you don't like your job, you should just go find one you do.
I think that is what the
that
big
simple.
takeaway. The big takeaway is, you know, it's easier to find a job when you have a job. Don't just quit your shitty job. Get something lined up. Go back to school.
And if you're young, go adventure. Be a oyster chiseler.
Yeah.
In Oregon.
An oyster boy.
Figure it out. It's so easy. Just apply.
No, Albert, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. You really saved the day, giving us a free podcast that you murdered for, and we did a great job.
You guys did well. You guys did well, and you know I do what I can, and you know it's just a pleasure watching you guys do what you do. So
We're pretty good at it.
Yeah. Oh my God. We don't steal our podcast, Albert.
now that would be a mission worthwhile one day, boys.
We're best friends. Ha ha ha! Great stuff, guys. I don't know what happened to Josh. Wait, you didn't kill Josh, did you?
No, Josh is here.
No. Josh, are you okay?
Yeah, dude, I'm good.
Oh, okay, just making sure. Albert can be a little scary.
Make a drink. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right, Jeremy. Well, until next week, another podcast off in the distance.
I mean, maybe if they respond to our posts.
Yes, I wish they would.
It'd be so much easier.
Bye.
Share, like, and subscribe.
What'd you say? Yes, goodbye.
Community engagement.
There may or may not be music after this.
Band of the week.
Band of the week probably already happened.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Can we what are we stealing again? And
I hate I hate this job.
I hate this job.
I hate this job. We go to a shed.
I've been in this situation before.